Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. It's time for some cricket now, and we have some great news. A short while ago, West Indies beat South Africa by 21 runs in the fourth T20 International at the National Cricket Stadium in St George's, Grenada, to level the five-match series 2-2. After losing the toss and being asked to bat, West Indies compiled 167 for 6 from their 20 overs, with captain Kieron Pollard top scoring with an unbeaten 51 from 25 balls. South Africa in their chase could only muster 146 for 9 from their 20 overs, with Quinton de Kock top scoring with 60 against Dwayne Bravo 4 for 19. Scores in the match: South Africa 166 for 7, West Indies 146 for 9. Joining us now to review the fourth T20 International is international cricket commentator Fazeer Mohammed. Faz, welcome.
Good to be on the show once again, Mariah.
Always good to have you, and especially when we're talking about West Indies winning. So a comprehensive performance, and I'm saying that for the bowling department, of course, Dwayne Bravo and team stepping up to ensure that they defend 167.
Indeed, and I think what you're saying, Mariah, is that you're seeing two teams that are not near their optimum level of performance as yet. It's a good series, of course, when you've got a situation at 2-all going into what is effectively a final on Saturday. And credit to the West Indies, because they were really struggling against the spinners, and it took that effort from Kieron Pollard with the support of Fabian Allen to get 53 runs over the last 3 overs, and it turned out to be a total that they defended comfortably in the end, thanks to the excellent work again of those experienced bowlers. Bravo, as you mentioned, career best, the T20 international figures, 2 wickets for Andre Russell, an important wicket for Kieron Pollard, even Chris Gayle getting a wicket with the first ball that he bowled, and of course Obed McCoy, who continues to be the revelation of this tournament. So yes, I think both teams will acknowledge that they are some way away from their highest level of performance, but a win is a win, and it really sets up the series beautifully come Saturday.
Definitely, Faz, but we can't help but notice if Kieron Pollard did not come to the crease and, hit that 51 runs quickly, we would have been in some trouble today. We definitely have to talk about, these youngsters, Shimron Hetmyer, Nicholas Pooran, continuing to go to the crease and failing game after game.
And that's something they are going to have to look at. And I'm sure it's being brought to their attention because they are players of whom a lot is expected and they have delivered previously. So it's really up to them to improve their games. And I think Pollard alluded to that. A lot of criticism is being leveled at the senior players, for example. He mentioned Bravo specifically, that many are saying that people like Bravo shouldn't be anywhere near the side because they are too old, yet he's taking wickets. And of course, the same will be extended to the younger players because they're expected to follow in the footsteps and ensure that the West Indies remain a competitive force leading up to the defense of the World T20 title at the end of the year in the UAE. So really it's up to Hetmyer when they get opportunities once again back in the team. Lendl Simmons got his chance, he got 47, but he needs to carry on as well because he's been around for a very long time in the West Indies setup. But as you mentioned, those young players, especially Fabian Allen, are very unfortunate that he was injured in the field. Will that be a factor for the match on Saturday? We'll have to wait and see. But he's someone who's really come on strong. And he was there at the end to support his captain with that important partnership. But you're right, when you're talking about players like Hetmyer and Pooran, with all the ability that they have, they really need to make it count. And it really is a concern if we're talking about the West Indies continuing to struggle against quality spin bowling as they did again today.
Yeah, Faz, you spoke this week about the unbelievably bad 48 dot balls in the last game that they played. Did you see any evidence today that there was some work around that to try to rotate the strike and not give up so many dot balls? Did you see in the approach of the batsmen anything that told you that they were trying to correct those miserable stats?
Well, the biggest exclamation of all was Chris Gayle taking off for a quick single, virtually at the innings, because we all know Chris has a relative lack of mobility. So there was that, but they easily fell back into that mode. And that seems to be very much almost a mental situation with so many of our players. Even Lendl Simmons, he played well. He got 20 in the first over, the most productive opening over ever for the West Indies batting in a T20 international. But thereafter, you saw a lot of dot balls being soaked up. And I think it's important for the West Indies to understand that as much as the big hitting is spectacular, they are robbing themselves of 15, 20, maybe 25 runs that could make all the difference when it comes to crunch time in a major tournament like the World T20. So yes, there appeared to be some suggestion of a recognition of that situation. But again, falling back into the old habits, they really need to make it part of their normal practice, looking for those singles, looking to alternate the strike as often as possible.
Fazeer, DJ Bravo's 4 for 19. Is it a case of the old warhorse showing us that he still has it?
He does, and I think that's why Pollard made the point that for all of the criticism that will be leveled against the senior players, people might want to call them Grandad's Army and all of that, but they delivered, and Bravo continued to take wickets all over the world. People always point out that yes, he's going at over 8 runs per over, he's always bowling at the death, and that is the occupational hazard, but he backs himself. And as you all would be very much aware, when it comes to elite level sport, when it comes to even backyard sport, confidence is an important element when it comes to a critical situation. Bravo believed in himself. Sometimes it may not work. A lot of the times it will work. And this time it worked as well. 3 wickets in that 18th over, including Quinton de Kock for that top score of 60. South Africa were already struggling at that time. So they'll have to consider their own challenges in the late overs when they're batting. But what can you say when someone gets career best T20 international figures?
Finally, I want to ask you about Andre Russell, because many West Indian fans still have seared in their consciousness him breaking down at the last 50 over World Cup we had. 4 games into this limited over series set of series that the West Indies will play against these nations. You've seen him now in 4 games. Is there still a sense of gingerliness around Andre Russell, or is he a man who looks fitter to you, more free in his movement?
Yes, to both your questions, which kind of makes me a politician in that regard, because it's obvious that he has to manage those issues with his knees very carefully. Yet he's putting in the effort, and you can see it. And I think it is again the motivation of probably for many of them playing one more World T20, defending that title and going into that tournament, if not 100% as far as fitness and with aches and pains, but certainly 100% as far as commitment. And I think that's what we're seeing from Andre Russell, from Chris Gayle, from all of the senior players. It may all fall flat come Saturday, and many will be cussing them once again. But the point is, if at this stage they could be 2-all, having fought back with the first time, having to bat first and with all those struggles, you have to give them credit for the effort.
All right, Faz. Well, always a pleasure chatting with you and hearing your insights. We'll talk again when we win the next one.
Well, you sound very confident, and let's see how it turns out. But could I just take 20 seconds to offer my own condolences to the friends, the family, and the colleagues, and all who worked with outstanding Caribbean cricket photographer Gordon Brooks, who passed away a couple of nights ago, someone who I had the privilege of working alongside. We traveled together on numerous tours, and it was indeed an honor to be in his company, and he is already very, very sorely missed.
Definitely. May his soul rest in peace. Faz, we'll talk again. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, we go to break and we'll be back.